much as an inch more. But what about the peaking of this tropical weather season? Let's turn to our expert, John Hope. John?
Well, thank you very much, Lisa, and good morning, everybody. Well, we have some weather out there in tropics that we're a bit concerned about, of course. The main thing is Tropical Storm Floyd. And if I could just get up the first picture here on Weather Pro 1 of Tropical Storm Floyd. There we are. We finally reached that point in the hurricane season that we've been waiting for. It's the 10th day of September, and this is the day that the hurricane season climatologically peaks out. You're more likely to have, more apt to have a storm on the 10th day of September than any other day, and indeed we do have one. And not only that, we have prospects perhaps for some more even. Now, looking at the 11 o'clock advisory, this Floyd was centered at 19.3, 59.2, that's 200 miles east-northeast of Barbuda. The wind's up to 80 miles an hour, moving toward the west-northwest at 10 miles an hour, and the latest barometric pressure we have, measured by reconnaissance aircraft, 989 millibars. Looking at the last few observations that we have from reconnaissance aircraft from our evaluation of satellite pictures, it might be moving a little bit more northwest than that. In any case, even though we have out tropical storm watches for the northern Leeward Islands, it looks very much now as if this is going to pass the north of there. There you see where the hurricane is, well up to the north. And that observation is coming out of the northern Leeward this morning. Some rain there, showers, even thunder showers, but not a whole lot of wind so far. So it looks as if it's going to pass far enough north. This will give you a little bit better perspective. The hurricane force winds extend out about 70 miles from the center of circulation, and the tropical storm force winds shown in yellow extend out about 175. And you can see the tropical storm force winds aren't really very close to the Leeward Islands right now. So if this goes ahead and continues the path toward the west-northwest, we think it's more likely to go north of the islands. But still, we want people to stay alert until this finally gets on west of you, because you can never be sure it might not take a jog. It doesn't look like that's going to happen, though. Now, we are seeing this get a little bit better organized. This has had a very good outflow in the upper levels the whole time, and we have the ingredients there for this to intensify. But what we haven't seen is a whole lot of activity around the central core. That is, we don't see an eye wall. Last couple of pictures here suggest that maybe we are beginning to see one, and at that point, as we zoom in on it right there, we anticipate that this is going to strengthen, and strengthen fairly rapidly, and very likely is going to be a major hurricane. Now, what about a possible effect on the United States? I know that everybody is concerned about that, as well you should be. We do think this is likely to be a threat to somewhere on the East Coast. Right now, we aren't prepared to say where, whether it's going to be in the Florida, the Carolinas, or even New York and New England. It's too early, it's just too far away, too early to tell. But it's not going to get there over the weekend. It'll be sometime, we don't think, it'll be sometime next week and toward the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in there, possibly even a little bit later than that. So plenty of time, but this is a good time to sort of take inventory and make sure you've done all that you plan to do.
Storm as we head up probably into the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame next week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those days should be critical in the extended forecast to see if our storm decides to impact the U.S. coast. For the moment, it is still located to the northeast of Puerto Rico. The next advisory is actually due right about now. So hopefully in the next half hour, I'll have the latest coordinates for you. Right now, it's 365 miles northeast of San Juan, Puerto Rico, moving to the northwest at 10 miles an hour with the wind speed at 105 miles an hour. That makes this a Category 3 storm. There is a little trough of low pressure coming in from the west, and that may start to shear the storm a bit, so you may see some fluctuations in strength over the next 24 to 36 hours. These, the very latest probabilities of the center of the storm coming within 75 miles of selected locations. Parts of the east coast now of Florida seem to be the most likely strike point. We're going to watch these numbers and see how they change over the next several advisories. That gives you a little bit better idea of where the storm could be headed. But right now, we're looking for the east coast of Florida, perhaps up to Georgia sometime next week. So keep advised of all your latest advisories. A news update is next.
Today, we're not real overly concerned. If you are doing some traveling, we were looking at possibly some tropical conditions associated with Floyd because of the rain, the cloud cover, but it's not as bad as it could be, and the watches that were in effect for tropical watch conditions were allowed to expire. And you'll note the latest information now showing that Floyd on a northwesterly track at 10 miles per hour. So over the next couple of days, we may experience some shearing, and that's good news because that could possibly cause a little disorganization of Floyd. But of course, these very warm waters as it approaches the Bahamas is not good news for the Bahamas. We are looking at the wind sustained now at 110 miles per hour, and then the next couple of days, we could see these winds increase. By Tuesday, Wednesday, we may be looking at sustained winds around 130 miles per hour. So certainly the possibility of a major storm here, a major hurricane with Floyd, is going to give us a little bit of an uneasy feeling over the next couple of days if in fact it continues on this path, because as you can see, we're not too many days away here when we will be on the alert for the possibility of seeing this storm come very close, if not making landfall along the Florida or the southeast, or possibly further to the north, the eastern seaboard area of the mainland here in the United States. But again, at this time, we're not looking at any watches. We don't have any warnings posted, not only for the Bahamas as of yet, but even for the Leeward Islands. But we will continue to keep you posted, period. Bruce?
Well, just ahead, travel looks good in the Northeast today, but in the plains it is quite a different story.
Oh, it's still the weekend. We'll have the details coming up next for your local forecast and then travel-wise.